Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience. Hello, 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 as RuPaul would say, and welcome to another edition of the Jason Show Home Edition. I'm Jace. Hello, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Tuesday to you all. Grab a cup of coffee and let's hang out for a few minutes. Hope you're all doing well. I got to tell you, last week was so much fun. And if you happen to click over to the radio show, you know what I'm talking about. You know, here on Fox, I mentioned this last week, here on Fox, we did Shine On Minnesota, a giant benefit to help businesses during the COVID crisis. It's one of the reasons I love working at Fox 9, their commitment to giving back. And I feel the same way at My Talk. We've been doing this thing called the Neighborhood Rebuilding Fund, and we've been raising money in conjunction with the Neighborhood Development Center, which helps businesses owned by people of color get back on their feet and in some cases continue their businesses, whether they've been affected by COVID or the recent uprisings. And our goal, it's a 10-day thing. Our goal for the whole 10 days was $40,000. Last Thursday, so that's 4 days into it, look at this, we reached $41,000. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is, number one, to thank any of you Jason Show viewers that donated, but also when we started our radio show on last Thursday, we were about $4,000 away from a goal. We had like a daily goal, and I said, look, if we can get up to $35,000 on that day, I'm going to drink some 7-year-old enchilada sauce. Now, my buddy Dawn McLean found this. Dawn McLean, you've seen her on our show. She's our producer, my executive producer over there. She found this can of enchilada sauce in her refrigerator, in her cabinet, that she realized she has moved 4 or 5 times. The expiration date, or the best of date, for that enchilada sauce was 2013. That's right, 2013. Here's what it looked like inside. That's 7 years of enchilada sauce just kind of melting there. Yeah. So I said, look, if we get to $35,000, I'll pour some of that over my breakfast. Well, lo and behold, somebody, an anonymous person, donated $2,000, which put us right over the top. I think at that point in the show, it put us at like $35,600. And by the time that show got over last Thursday, we were at $41,000. It was unbelievable. But anyway, that enchilada sauce was grotesque. It tasted like really potent, vinegary French dressing. It was so disgusting. But anything for charity, y'all. Anything for charity. So thanks again to all of you that donated. I greatly appreciate it. People keep asking what they can do. This is something that you can do. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thanks for doing it. Thanks for donating 5, 10, 20, whatever you could do. Thank you very much. Okay, everybody, let me take a drink of water here out of my Oprah cup. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do some hot dish. Are you ready? Let's do this. There we go. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let's start. If you watch our show, you're probably a lover of daytime TV. You probably watch some. Maybe you watch The Bold and the Beautiful over there on another network. Well, they are getting very creative in this COVID environment as far as trying to ramp up the drama. What am I talking about? Well, the long-running soap is back in production. And among their safety protocols, they will test the cast and crew at least once a week. Everyone on the show must wear a mask if they're not in a scene. Crew must remain 6 feet apart, and actors must remain 8 feet apart, even while they're shooting. So this scene, they couldn't do that in the COVID era we are in. So how do you make a soap full of romantic drama while social distancing? That's a good question. The executive producer said editing tricks, real-life spouses, and, are you ready, blow-up dolls. Blow-up dolls, which I believe, and we'll check with unpaid researcher Phil Jones, this is the first time I've ever said blow-up dolls on The Jason Show. Anyway, hey, whatever melts your butter, whatever floats your canoe, whatever drives your bus. Look, these are desperate times. The producers are going to do whatever they can do. I mean, look, there was a point where Fox wanted one more original show per week. They were just going to put a blow up doll here for 42 minutes to see if y'all would watch. Next in the dish. Let's move from fake drama to real drama. And I put real drama in air quotes. I'm talking about the reality show Siesta Key. I think this is one that Ted watches over there on MTV. Well, there's trouble. There's trouble and there's drama. What do I mean? Well, here we go. Here's the story. Racist posts from a cast member, Alex, from the show, surfaced on his Instagram account. Now, he was the lead character on the Laguna Beach-like reality show. He's super rich and leads a ridiculous lifestyle that brings in the ladies. I don't know for how much longer. But anyway, here's where things get awkward for the show. You may have heard that his dad, Gary, is the guy from 1-800-ASK-GARY. Well, 1-800-ASK your trifling son. Anyway, Gary actually funded the pilot episode that MTV eventually picked up, and he is still listed as an executive producer. No word on what his status will be going forward. But MTV just debuted season 3, and they said that they're going to work to scrub Alex off the show. This reminds me of all of you that, like me, you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race. There was a big scandal with one of the contestants. They decided to air the season as is, but they tried to remove the troubled queen from as many episodes as they could, and they did a good job. So I don't watch Siesta Key, but we'll see. One more piece of dish for you. Y'all know Dina Lohan, Lindsay's mom. Well, congratulations are in order because Dina Lohan, ladies and gentlemen, is an engaged woman. That's right. She's engaged to Jesse Nadler. Now, you may remember last year on Celebrity Big Brother, she was talking about her internet boyfriend who she never met. Never met. Not even on FaceTime. Well, Jesse is that guy, and he lives in California. She lives in New York. Fast forward a year. They still haven't met. Jesse actually mailed her the engagement ring. They say they plan on meeting once the coronavirus is over. I have a little inside intel. Is that a double? Anyway, I have a little intel on this. Colleen and Bradley on My Talk 1071 weekdays, noon to 3. They actually interviewed Dude, the fiance, and then Dina Lohan called into their show. She actually called into her show last Friday. Colleen, I texted her right before I taped this segment. I said, Colleen, give me the skinny. Is this a real relationship? And Colleen said, yes. Colleen said they're like teenagers. So I don't know. You can hear Colleen and Bradley's interview with Dina Lohan on the podcasts for Colleen and Bradley. Just go to mytalk1071.com. So congratulations. We're going to take a break, everyone. We have a great show. So get another cup of coffee, get some more toast and Captain Crunch, and we'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. He is the host of Hollywood Raw, which sounds way dirtier than it really is. It is, ladies and gentlemen, host of Hollywood Raw, our good friend Dax Holt, everyone. Dax, I was thinking about that. I was looking at your logo and I thought, Hollywood Raw. It does sound like you're seconds from mud wrestling or something.
Right? Well, we kind of are half the time. So we encourage as much mud wrestling as you can get on one podcast.
Exactly. Okay, Dax and I talked yesterday. You had a killer day in the studio. Who should we talk about first?
I think we talk about Chad Johnson, the former Bachelorette alum, because he was one of those villain characters. I think one of the most recognizable people to come off the Bachelor franchise. So I say we start with him.
Let's do it. How was he?
Fascinating. Honestly, fascinating. I love people that come on the podcast that aren't afraid to be themselves.
Yeah.
That open up, tell you anything they want, or and you can hit him with the hardest questions and he just doesn't even flinch. And I think those are my favorite guests. And we actually also had Brielle Bierman on, Kim Zolciak's daughter. Same thing. You could ask her any question about her life and she was honest and just answered it, got straight to the point. So anyway, back to Chad. for people that don't know, he was on JoJo's season of The Bachelorette. He was kind of the guy that was this big, strong beefcake guy, always chowing down meat, but kind of literally was just like slabs of like cold cuts he would just eat the entire season. And so that's what kind of made him famous. And, you know, he didn't get along with the rest of the contestants on the show. And so we just asked him, you know, a lot of these seasons, you see that the villains go further than you think. And I think a lot of it, you know, so we just said, how much of a role do producers have in this show in regards to
good question, Dax Holt. Good question.
So to hear that answer, you got to log on to the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. No, he said that a lot of them, the producers pick the top 5 from the day one, and then from there on, they will just kind of, everyone else is just collateral damage, and they keep who they want and send whoever they want. But they actually, according to him, they told JoJo that he had to be sent home, that they were kind of concerned about some of the people, like the well-being of the other contestants. So they were like, you got to get rid of them. And apparently she had told, this is according to him, she had told Rachel Lindsay that she wanted to actually keep him on longer, that she had a good connection, but producers forced her to send him home.
Wow. And this kind of verifies what we've always thought, which was there is a little bit more, and you and I know this just with being in TV, but everyone's always assumed that there is some mingling behind the scenes, not mingling, but some strings being pulled behind the strings with the producers. It's a TV show, for heaven's sake.
Oh, well, we asked him that, like, so do they like coax you or do they prompt you to say something? He goes, oh yeah, all the time they're sitting there saying, you might want to ask this. It would be a good time to say this. It would be to your benefit if you did this. And he said one of the biggest times he remembers was there was a time when they were on a group date. And apparently one of the producers says, oh, I think you might want to try to kiss her. And he goes, no, I can't kiss her. We're on a group date in front of all the guys. And they said, I think this might be a good opportunity. So he took it as that in their earpiece, they were saying that JoJo was up for a kiss. So he believed them, went in for the kiss. She denied him, and he got pissed. He was like, you guys made me look like an idiot in front of the guys, in front of her. And that scene, I don't know if you remember this, the infamous scene where he like punches the door that they played in every promo. He was mad at producers, that he punched the door because he was mad at producers, and they turned it to make it look he was mad because she didn't kiss him. But he said, no, I was punching the door because they set me up. And then they reorganized the editing to make it look like my anger was towards her, not them.
See, I'm not even surprised. I was on Ginny Jones once, Dax, and
I forgot about her.
Well, I know. I was on Ginny Jones in the early 90s before she was canceled and before the trial. And the producers were totally coaxing me. I was going to come out of the closet on Ginny Jones in like 94. And then while I'm sitting there in the Chicago studio, I'm thinking to myself, I haven't even told my grandmother or my mom, probably not a good idea to go on Ginny Jones. But the producers were kind of doing that. They were basically telling me what to do. And I never looked at talk shows the same way is my point. But yeah,
it's crazy. So he says a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff over at the ABC franchise. I like into Bachelor in Paradise and them saying that he could potentially be the next Bachelor, like all kinds of stuff. It's definitely must listen.
We have about 3 minutes left. I want to divide the time. You mentioned Brielle Bierman. She fascinates me because, you know, she came to fame because of her mom's fame on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do you like her? Because, you know, she gets a bad rap. And honestly, I don't know a lot about her. Did you enjoy her?
She was great.
Really?
She was really good. Yeah. Again, I'm not a huge like Real Housewives of Atlanta fan. I watch more of the Beverly Hills. But I really liked having her on. And I think it's fascinating coming from someone that didn't plan to get famous. You know, she became famous because her mom decided to do a reality show. She was 10 years old when Housewives started up. And so she just kind of became famous because of her mom. And then they did the spinoff of Don't Be Tardy to the Party. But again, she is one of those people that opens up, says kind of anything that's on her mind, doesn't hold back. She got on the phone with us. She was like, hey, last night, sorry, I'm tired. I just got back from the strip club, so I kind of slept in this morning. Like, those are the kind of statements that like most people would kind of like shy away from. And she didn't. She's awesome. So I don't know. We had a really fascinating conversation with her. That one will be released next Monday.
Okay, the yin and yang of conversations. We go from Brielle Bierman. You recently talked to broadcast legend Larry King. Okay, same question. What was that like?
So that was interesting. I was very excited to have Larry King on. Like you said, legend in this business. He's coming on my podcast. Like, what a big deal. And it was funny because the one thing I took away from it was I didn't have to do much work on the podcast. The man knows how to talk talk and talk. And half the times I was like, I think he just interviewed himself is really what it came down to. Because he would like bring up a topic and then answer it. I'm like, this guy is a legit professional.
Dax Holt, everybody. Download the newest episodes of Hollywood Raw. Follow Dax on social media as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. Today's non-negative news is special. It's personal. I'm going to spend the next few minutes paying tribute to a name, a person that you, as the viewer, don't really hear about. You don't really know them, perhaps. And that's one of our Fox 9 photojournalists, Steve Painovich, or as we call him, Paino, or Hey Paino, or Paino, or Really Paino. Steve Painovich started his career at KMSP in 1978. As my boss Mim wrote in her email just a few days ago, it was the same year Dallas started. And again, you know how that makes me happy. 1978, Steve Painovich started as a photojournalist. And since then, since that year, Paino has literally done it all. He has seen it all. He's interviewed every type of person, from a courageous grandmother to star politicians to criminals and crooks, good people and bad people, people trying to do their best, and people showing the worst sides of humanity. Paino has been there. He's done it, as they say. He recently announced that he's done. Or, as I look at his email, I will read you the first line from his email that he sent all of us, his colleagues. I am old and I am tired. Many miles to go before the journey ends, but the path now needs to change, and change it will. And he deserves this change. Paino's been one of my favorite people in that building in Eden Prairie since the day that I started there as just a pup, as Tom Lydon called me. You're the what did Tom call me? The young guy. You're the young guy. When I started in the year 2000, I was barely in my mid-20s, and Paino was the rough and gruff, even at that time, veteran. But I immediately saw a soft side to Paino, and I was immediately attracted to him. Not in that way, Paino, but I was immediately attracted to Paino. And we were kind of the odd couple whenever we would be together. And we were together. We were assigned to work together for the very first time on a continuing series with the late, great columnist Nick Coleman. And that was one of the first memories I have of Paino and I working consistently together for a prolonged period of time. And it was so enjoyable, not just because of Nick, but because I got to spend time with Paino, more than just a little passing conversation in the halls of Channel 9. Yes, Paino was gruff. Yes, he could bite your head off in 1 minute, but the next minute he could have you laughing. And through it all, he was a pro. When I think of photojournalists, I think of Paino. I think of so many of my Fox 9 colleagues. Paino and all the photojournalists there is one of 100 reasons why I have been proud to call Fox 9 my home for over 20 years now. He is the best. He's serious about his work. He wants to do better, even if he doesn't think he does. And he usually manages to reach that goal. Paino, if you're watching this, and I hope you're not, I hope you're actually just enjoying yourself. I love you, buddy. I'm going to miss you parking me into the parking lot and me and you fake arguing for a half hour before I can pull my car out. I'm just going to miss your face around the office. I'm going to miss your professionalism. I'm going to miss knowing that you're just a grown-up in the room. And more than anything, I'm just going to miss giving you a hug when we could still hug people. I love you, Paino. Thanks for being my buddy. Thanks for sticking up for me. Thanks for working with me. And just thanks for, well, being a friend. I love you. And now, if you are watching this, go. Go, my friend. Go do the change that you wrote about. Go enjoy the change that you wrote about. Enjoy your life. You more than deserve it. I love you. Steve Painovich, guys, one of the best. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Hey, 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 the gang's all here. Please welcome Kendall, Jeff, and Ted. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Let's start with our new favorite question. What's frozen on Ted's television?
Sesame Street.
Okay, are you babysitting?
No, I just saw it on the TV listing, and I was like, well, I got nothing else.
Have you?
Ted, this made me think of this just today. I saw My Little Pony has a movie.
Okay.
Guys, they were the greatest toys ever for 80s and 90s kids. I thought you people, of all people, would appreciate this.
I'm sorry, what? How did we go from Sesame Street to, hey, Ted, there's a My Little Pony movie? Kendall, you can go now. I'm just joking. Okay, today's conversation topic, road trips. Where have we gone now that the state has turned the dial just a little bit? And let's start with our fearless leader, Jeff. Jeff, where have you gone?
So I was off last Friday. Jason allowed me to take a day off. And
Wow.
I decided to get in my car and hit the road, and I went to Wisconsin. I had no plan where to go. I just started driving. The home of Ted Johnson.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that detail. You didn't have a plan?
No. I just drove until I saw something I wanted to see, and then I stopped and did it.
Ooh.
Okay, so
I got all the way to the Wisconsin Dells, and I went to the outlet mall there. They have a great outlet mall. I wore my mask the entire time, because everyone should wear a mask. And I bought something in Wisconsin that you can only buy in Wisconsin. You cannot buy it in Minnesota.
Cheese.
I did buy cheese.
I'm sorry, Ted. That answer is not correct. That's not correct, Ted.
I bought the Spotted Cow from New Glarus Brewery, which you can only buy in Wisconsin.
I am not familiar with that. Is that a root beer or is that a regular beer? What, Ted? I'm sorry.
It's like Wisconsin's finest beer.
It's true.
Oh, it is. Oh, Kendall, you may join in. You're out of the corner now. Will you concur? Is this good beer?
It's really good. I grew up on the border, so like we would get that once I was old enough. We would go over there and have a Spotted Cow.
Have you, Jeff? Are you holding it for posterity, or are you actually going to drink it?
Well, it's a little too early to drink, so I'll.
No, I mean, eventually.
Well, I only bought 6 of them, so I'm trying to make them last.
Okay. With Ted, what's the flavor profile of that beer? Is it a lighter beer? Is it what are we talking here?
Yeah, it's it's lighter, smooth.
Okay.
You can have a few in the afternoon and enjoy yourself.
It's okay. It's delicious. So you went to the Dells and just turned back around, Jeff?
I turned around, I stopped. Every time I saw a giant mouse on the side of the road, because Wisconsin has a lot of like giant mouse statues advertising their cheese, I would stop and buy some cheese and then bring it home with me.
Wow. And you just literally just on a random day, you just got in your car and drove.
What else am I going to do?
I love that. Okay, Ted, where did you go?
Well, like Jeff. Well, because Jeff was kind enough to let me take Wednesday off. So, and like Jeff, I just decided to hop in my car and go somewhere. And so I went to, let me pull up a picture here.
Oh, the anticipation is killing all of us.
Shouldn't it be
there
frozen
he
on
is.
his TV?
What?
Duluth.
You went to Duluth.
Yay.
Our affiliate. Hi, Duluth.
Hello, Duluth. Speaking of the affiliate.
I do too.
There's our affiliate right there.
There they are.
How long?
Fun fact.
Yeah, go ahead.
So while I was in Duluth, I stayed in Duluth. I actually spent probably most of my time in Superior because I was born in Superior and I lived there until the age of 4 and a half, 5.
That is a Ted fun fact. Shooting star.
I hadn't been there in 30 years, but it's crazy what you'll remember about the place where you were born.
When you were there, did you remember a lot?
No, but just random things. Very, very random things.
Oh, were you really jealous when we all went to Duluth without you?
No.
No, Ted is, if you haven't watched in a while, we all took a class trip to Duluth and Ted couldn't come, and Ted doesn't care really at all. He really didn't miss hanging out with us socially. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go last because watch this. Hey, Kendall, have you gone anywhere?
I went to my mom's.
Anyway, finally, my road trip, I went to Spicer because Spicer is nicer. That's right. There's a couple Green Lakes. Actually, I think there are actually 3 Green Lakes in Minnesota. My mother-in-law and father-in-law are on the one near Princeton, Cambridge, and Colin's aunt has a house on the Green Lake in Spicer. And I just have an observation. First, Spicer is delightful. That lake is huge. It is fun. It's busy. There are some rich people on that lake, like capital R rich. I thought for sure I was going to see Oprah on a scooter because there are some giant houses there. But you know what? Here's my observation. For a trendy little lake town, there is no coffee shop.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Not even like, I'm not even talking about a Bucks or a Boo. I did not find even like, Mary's Crumpet House or anything like that. I couldn't find any type of coffee shop, like even a little locally owned one, like, I don't know, Karen's Cappuccino, nothing. I don't know. So the good people of I know I'm going to get emails. The good people of Spicer, can you let me know where there's a coffee shop? Yes, Jeff.
Did you Google like coffee shop Spicer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't do that. No, actually, I think Colin did, and it just came up like the gas stations.
Oh.
And no offense, Quick Trip has good coffee, but anyway. So there we go, everybody.
Holiday has good coffee too.
Holiday does have good coffee. Holiday, if you want to sponsor us, we're available. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks, guys. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to the Jason Show Home Edition. He is a part of the mega successful group, 98 Degrees. We got to know him last year when he stopped by our studio during our week-long special shows at the Vikings headquarters. Please welcome back to the show our good friend. It's Jeff Timmons, everybody. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you? How are you holding up?
You know what? Holding up is a good word. How are you holding up with the whole family? I mean, I feel the worst for parents having to you have to be like social coordinator. You have to be everything. How are you guys doing?
Well, look, man, not to sound corny, but I kind of see it as a blessing, trying to make lemonade out of lemon because, look, I'm on the road quite a bit, even though we've constructed our career to be at home during the week. And traditionally 98 Degrees does touring on the weekends. It's still not the same. You're still going through the hustle and bustle half the week and catching up with this and that. So now it gives you an excuse to be at home and certainly, catch up with some schoolwork. I've enjoyed the time I've had with my kids, those that have been here. A couple of my kids are off to school in different places, but it's been all right. I mean, it's given me time to get back in the studio in my house. I have like a little home studio here and learn some programs and really kind of catch up with the things that I've sort of been procrastinating about.
I love that attitude because you and I were talking off camera. One of the things, again, trying to look on the positive was I had to learn, when you said, you learn new programs, I had to learn how to do the show from my house. And it really had to stir up the creative juices. The same thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's given me a chance to catch up with some things that traditionally I wouldn't have time to do. A couple of programs here and there, get my studio chops up because, 98 Degrees might be getting back in the studio sometime soon. That's given us pause as well. I mean, we've been kind of getting spoiled with, going on tour, having our cake and eat it too, being able to be in front of the fans, yet be home with our families all the time. But now it gives us an excuse to work on new music. We don't know when that part of our business is going to come back and open back up, so to speak. So, let's get creative. Let's, get our chops up and together as a group. And so that's what we've kind of been exploring. So it's been kind of nice.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, weren't you guys in the middle of or at the beginning of a tour when COVID struck and the world basically shut down?
Yeah, I think we had some 45 dates on the books coming up, and we were really, really getting rocking and rolling. We had some very successful shows so far in 2020, and then we had to shut it down, and we were like, wow, nobody on the entire planet expected that this would happen, and especially us. I mean, we were like, okay, this is our schedule. We're at home, then we're on the road. We have these three shows this weekend, these four shows the next weekend, and then all of that stops. So we're like, wow, okay, well, we're having such fun, and exactly getting the opportunity to enjoy success with our fans still, which 20 some plus years we're lucky to do. And how do we really capitalize on the momentum that we have? And so now we're regrouping and trying to find out new ways to get some stuff out to our fans and stay in touch.
I was going to say, you've done such a good job. I was looking at your social media, and again, it's the ingenuity. I mean, it's what everyone has to do. I mean, you have to try to figure out a way to stay connected. And I asked you a version of this when we were together last year. Because this is my era, you and I are around the same age. I think it is so great. You guys, Backstreet, and there's like a resurgence of this type of music. Where do you think that comes from, Jeff? What do you think is the catalyst for that?
Well, none of it happens without the fans. I know that's a cliche thing to say, but sometimes fans grow out of your music and your style and you and everything else. But for us, we had a mostly young female fan base. And so, they kind of grew up with us, stayed with us when we didn't do anything for several years. And when we came back and fortunately had a big launch for our comeback with Boys to Men and New Kids. I mean, you can't go wrong being bookended with those two legendary acts. And that just sort of gave us a shot in the arm and realized that, what? Our fans have been loyal to us. It gives us a chance to live our dream, go out there, sing for a living, perform for a living, and get, this adulation and feed our egos from our fan base. But no, I mean, it gives us a chance to do music. And so, for us to get to do music for a living, 20 some odd years later is a real blessing.
I mentioned you staying connected with the fans in our remaining minutes. I was laughing, Jeff, because again, we're around the same age. If you look on Jeff's Instagram, I see you tried TikTok. Jeff, I don't get TikTok. I don't know how to do it. People have tried it. I just can't do it. You did pretty well, my friend.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible, but thank you for the compliment anyway. My youngest daughter, Ariana, and my oldest son is they're into TikTok and they know what they're doing. And they're like, you need to get on it. This is the new thing. I'm like, well, we had MySpace back in the day, then Facebook and Pinterest and SoundCloud and Facebook. And how many things do we need? But I got on there and I tried it and failed miserably. And it got a ton of views. I think it's because it was so bad. But, some things you age yourself out of. So I don't know how often I'll be back on the TikTok platform, but it is fun.
And you're doing, we have just about 30 seconds left. You're doing some solo stuff as well outside of 98 Degrees, right?
Well, just messing around in the studio, nothing official. I mean, I'm all about the group right now, but just teetering around in the studio, seeing what fans like. Obviously, again, getting my chops up and just having fun.
It's great. Well, thank you for coming on. I got to tell you, when a guest leaves, a celebrity, I always talk about what they're really like. You were so kind to everybody that day, and you left a big mark on our crew, not just producer Lori Fisher, but everybody.
Love you, Lori.
Love you, Lori. But you guys were just so great when you guys came to the Vikings headquarters. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of the staff.
Thanks for having me. Give me a chance to be with you today, Jason. I appreciate it.
Follow Jeff on social media, everybody. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to the Jason Show Home Edition. She is our Chanteuse of Chardonnay, our master of Merlot. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show our good friend, Leslie Miller from Amuse Wine. Hello, Leslie.
Hello, Jason. I have to tell you, I heard a new one. Actually, somebody called me Sauvignon Blonde.
Sauvignon Blonde. Why didn't I think of that?
I don't know.
That is fantastic.
I don't know, but I immediately thought of you. I thought,
okay, if producer Ted is worth his weight in gold, or whatever that phrase is, if producer Ted is good, there is a super right now under you that says what is it again?
Sauvignon Blonde.
Sauvignon Blonde. I love that. Okay, Sauvignon Blonde. We've tackled many things over the years. Today, you said this idea came from actually people. They're asking you a lot about what?
They're asking me a lot about wedding wine. And I do get a lot of this, obviously, in the spring and the summer season. And I think people were rearranging plans and now things are back on. And people want to know, hey, I want the best bang for my buck. I don't want to overspend in the alcohol department, which is very easy to do. How many wines should I have and how much should I order? So it's probably some of the most frequently asked questions that I get, specifically spring and summer months.
Perfect. Let's get started. And I have my wine glass of vodka on. I'm just joking. It's actually just water. So where are we starting today? Because I'm looking at that spread. I'm very excited. Where are we starting?
Yeah, there's a lot of wine here, but I want to start with number one, how much wine to buy. And I think this is important because you don't want to overly buy, and obviously this can start to cost you a lot. The flowers, the photographer are already costing you a lot, so let's keep it easy on the wine budget. All right, so generally what you factor is that most people, and this sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's pretty normal. Most people drink about half a bottle of wine when they go to a wedding, if they're wine drinkers. And that's about 2.5 to almost 3 glasses of wine. So if there are 25.4 ounces in a bottle, all right, just say 25 ounces in a bottle, and most people drink approximately 12 ounces, and that's factoring in for people who drink heavy. That's also factoring in for people who are not drinking at all. So I'd say like your average overall, you're kind of factoring in about, if you're just going wine, I would say about 12 ounces per person. So what you do is you literally take your head count times 12 ounces, then you get your maximum ounces, 1,200 ounces, right?
Okay.
And then divide that by your 25.4, and boom, you get your number of bottles that you'll need.
I'm gonna need to take another drink to do all that math. I'm hoping all of you that are watching, I hope you did all of that. But no, I'm kidding. But that makes sense. That's a good equation, because that is like beer. You can kind of think about like, okay, we'll get a couple kegs. But you're right. I never thought about that. Wine is hard to try to figure out how much to buy.
Or you can basically just take your head count and divide it by by 2, and you'd end up in a pretty good position as well.
Okay.
Now, let's say you are a couple that are super into cocktails. Maybe you have a pretty heavy cocktailing crowd, and you're thinking maybe we won't do as much wine. People are really into the cocktails. I would take probably your overall bottle count then down by like 20-25%. So if you think people are going to be really doing some pretty heavy cocktailing, you've got you've got a big rowdy group, then I would say take it down by like 20 to 25% overall with wine.
Got it. What's next?
Next, I would say don't spend more than $15 a bottle on a bottle of wine. And this is inclusive of your sparkling wine. And this is such an interesting area because, there's a lot of places where you can bring in your own wine. And even when you are purchasing maybe something by a retail store and you're bringing it in and you get charged a small corkage fee, you still end up paying less than what a lot of the big wedding houses are charging you per bottle. So that's always something to consider too. If you're gonna buy wines in a retail store setting, ask for case discount. Say, hey, I'm looking, to buy 4 or 5 cases. What kind of discount can you give me for buying full cases?
I didn't even, and a lot of retailers, I bet a lot of people didn't know that. A lot of retailers will give you, it may not be a lot, but they'll get, a lot of retailers, I've done that. I didn't even think about, that's a great idea, Leslie.
Right, so you're gonna get, the minimum that you're gonna get is a 10% discount on a case. And that's about the average norm. And that's literally for almost every retail shop that you can think of in the country. So ask for the case discount, and then also, work with the venue to say, okay, if your corkage is what the price per bottle that they're going to charge you to bring the wines in, say, hey, can we work with this? Can we put it as like a package price versus something per bottle? And everybody will generally work with that pretty well.
Okay.
So that definitely helps you from that avenue. And when you really look at that, if you just took your 100 people times 47 bottles times $15, I mean, you're still way under budget, right?
That's way under budget. I love this. Okay, what's next?
So keep in mind too that if you're planning spring and summer, that people are going to go heavy in the whites, and they're probably. I'm going to recommend that you also do a rosé. So if it's hot outside, just know that you want to, of those bottles that you're going to order, that you really maximize your white and your rosé, because people are going to be drinking a lot because they're thirsty because it's hot outside, right?
Yeah.
If you're an indoor wedding and you're kind of moving into late summer and early fall, people generally tend to go a little bit more heavy on the reds. So that's where you kind of want to beef up maybe your reds a little bit more so than the white and the rosé. So keep that in mind too. People, I mean, it's weird, but people are thirsty and they use wine as their quencher basically overall.
I don't know who would do that, Leslie. That's just silly talk. I don't know what you're talking about.
So now also there's the big question of champagne toast. And the champagne toast is, people keep thinking, wow, I have to buy all this wine for the champagne toast, when in fact, in reality, most people are going to drink about 3 to 4 ounces for the champagne toast, and then they're going to go back to drinking whatever it was that they were doing. So again, you take your head count, times it by, maybe 4 ounces at the most, 400 ounces, again, divided by that, 25.4 ounces per bottle, and boom, you're really still only looking at maybe just a little bit over a case. And I work.
And again, talking about like the value, you don't have to spend. It's like when I get champagne for mimosas, girl, it's going in some orange juice. I don't need no $80 bottle of champagne. You don't have to go too extravagant, right, Leslie? You can get a decent bottle of champagne pretty cheap.
Yes, and that's my next tip is do not go to the region of Champagne, France. I mean, you don't want to have somebody talk you into spending $30, $40 a bottle on that champagne toast. Again, keep it in a really easy range. And, I brought out, I'm a big fan of sparkling pink. I know that you are too, Jason. Yeah. I love these.
Sparkling pink was actually my nickname in high school. There we go. Go ahead.
Not Sauvignon Blanc.
That's right. No.
So I'm a big fan of doing something from southern France. Southern France, you can actually pick up really great sparkling pinks for in that $12 to $14 range, and they're dry and people love them. So again, you're not buying from the region of Champagne. Maybe not do Cava, maybe not do Prosecco. Again, because a lot of wedding venues know that those are going to be the wines that you choose, they tend to kind of mark some of those up. So if you say, hey, do you have a sparkling pink wine, maybe southern France, maybe even something from Spain, you can find some really great wines for like $12, $14, and everybody's be super happy with it.
We have about 30 seconds left. Anything else? Any events coming up? Anything else, Bremen in the Leslie Miller world?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking all about fun wine still virtually. I'm still shifting here, and I'm teaching a lot of them every single class. We have cooking classes. We have a wine and cocktail class coming up. More speak on how to pick wines for your essentials in the summertime. Come on over to amusewine.com. Check out the classes. We have oodles and oodles of them.
I was going to say I'm just a happy customer. Colin signed up for Leslie's. Leslie picks a little wine pack for a friend, and Colin got that for his best friend Carrie and loved it. So amusewine.com. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, right, Ted? There we go. Leslie Miller, everybody. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to the Jason Show Home Edition. A couple personal notes before we go. Restaurants are slowly reopening. The governor allowed it last week. Some open right away. Some are going to wait a couple weeks. I know in my neighborhood, like Bar La Grassa, I talk about that place all the time. They're waiting. Gavin Kaysen is going to open, I believe, in July, his restaurants. But there's been several that have opened. And I've tried to go to a few of them just to kind of let you guys know what it's like. So I want to say congratulations to our friend Justin Sutherland, who was on the Jason Show last week. His award-winning restaurant, The Handsome Hog, reopened in a new location with the new patio. It's fantastic. I called our boss, Mim. I was like, it's right down the road. But so congratulations to Justin. It's really great. The Lexington, another dear friend of the Jason Show, they reopened their patio and their dining room as well in St. Paul. And in Minneapolis, to show some love there, a brand new sushi restaurant opened, Billy's Sushi, in my neighborhood, right down the road here in the North Loop. And as far as the suburbs, my favorite Serums in Anoka is open and ready for business. And all these restaurants, I'm proud to say, are following every safety protocol to keep you safe. And remember, don't be a Gladys Kravitz. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all of our guests today. And don't forget, we have brand new shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong.